Hi, my name is Allie Braithwaite, and I will be doing this presentation on the elderly living alone and the health concerns around this population. So just a little bit about this population. This group is going to be defined as individuals who are 65 years and older. And then I listed some different reasons for this population to live alone. Some of these reasons include the reduction in the number of children they have. With less children, there's less people to take care of them as they age. Increase in divorces, changes in lifestyle. Another reason is an increase in longevity in their lifespan. With today's technology and medical advancements, this population is living longer than other generations have in the past. So what makes this population vulnerable? Well, according to the National Institute of Aging, loneliness can weaken the body's immune system to make it more difficult to fight viruses. It can also cause increased inflammation, which increases the risk for chronic disease, accelerates buildup of plaque in arteries, and assists cancer cells in growing and spreading. So just with loneliness alone, it can cause these health problems. Another reason is aging itself. With aging comes a gradual decline of physical health due to chronic conditions that develop over time. To add on living alone, this increases the risk of social isolation, which can negatively impact this population. So to get an idea of the size of the population, I kind of have two sections here. I have one section that's just for the population 65 and older. And in just Davis County, this population size is 10.3%. In Utah, the whole state, it's 11.4%. And in the United States, it's 16.5%. The population is 65% and older. Worldwide, I found it's estimated that 8.5% of the population is 65 and older. Kind of, you can see it's not as big as a number as the United States, and this is due to, again, the medical advancements that we have here in the United States is increasing the lifespan of the older adult that isn't necessarily available to those in other countries. And then I've also got some statistics for the percentage of this population living alone. So in Utah, out of those 11.4%, 23% of those people are living alone. In the United States, 27%, and internationally, it's 16%. The reason for this percentage difference is internationally in other countries, it's a cultural aspect that your parents or the older adults are living with children or family members or relatives, and they are not often living alone in other countries. So a few contributing factors to this vulnerable population come from the social determinants of health. One of these that could fit is the neighborhood and built environment. This population needs safe and appropriate housing. For example, two-story homes may be too difficult for mobility-wise for some of these older adults living alone. And they also need to be in a good environment where they have services close to them, such as grocery shopping. They'll need the transportation to go to and from these locations. Another is health and health care. They may not have good access to health and health care again if they don't have the transportation to do that. People at this age stop driving due to poor eyesight, and they may need help getting to appointments. Health literacy is another issue. At their age, hearing and memory may be deteriorating, so it will be helpful to have someone with them at their appointments. So other concerns that this population faces is their socioeconomic status. The older population is projected to double between 2012 and 2060, from 43.1 to 92 million. As the percentage of older Americans rises, so does their concern for economic stability. Declines in health and the death of a spouse are common among older adults, are also factors that can affect financial standing. As a large portion of the U.S. population approaches retirement, greater demand is also placed on Social Security, and cuts in these benefits are anticipated. These circumstances place low-income older Americans at a serious disadvantage, as they are more likely to rely on Social Security as their main source of income. Another one is the physical health. In an article by Deepava Santos, it included a study of 1,544 elderly that lived alone, had more unexplained headaches, falls, depressive symptoms, showing how loneliness can present itself as in a mental health decline as well as physical health in the elderly. So when we roil down to the root cause, kind of the why are they facing these physical health problems, financial problems, like where are these problems coming from, asking ourselves the why, you come down to age as the main reason why they're facing these issues. The increase in age can cause stiffening of blood vessels and arteries, causing your heart to work harder to pump blood through them. Your bones tend to shrink in size and density, weakening them to make them more susceptible to fractures. Your muscles lose strength, your GI system slows down, your sight and hearing diminish, and so on. Just so age itself presents a bunch of physical problems, and with these physical problems comes needing more health care needs, which can cause different financial instability. In regards to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, met for them would be the physiological and safety. Unmet would be love and belonging. Again, with them living alone and not having that social interaction of a loved one or a family member, their needs may not be met in the love and belonging section. Their overall anticipated functional level of this population is really just based on their health. If they're healthy, they'll be more active, and if they're not as healthy, they'll be having a lot more issues. Likely health outcomes for this population, they are poorer, just again because of their age, and if they're living alone, that can cause other problems as discussed previously. Hopefully this population, as many as we can meet all the needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It will just give them more of a balanced and fulfilled life. So, with this population, different communicable diseases or infections that are common are bacterial pneumonia, influenza, urinary tract infections, and MRSA and VRE, which are antibiotic-resistant infections. To prevent these diseases, the best thing that this population can do is just wash their hands often and practice good hygiene and to stay away from sick people. Some different non-communicable diseases or infections that this population faces. There's a good amount of these. There's heart disease, cancer, chronic bronchitis or emphysema, stroke, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. The aging adults experience higher risk of chronic diseases. In 2012, 60% of the older adult population managed 2 or more chronic conditions. To prevent these, there are some things that you can modify and can't. Genetics is not one that they can change, but they can definitely live a healthy life, have a healthy lifestyle, and stay as active as they can to live the healthiest life possible. So other concerns, they are at risk for unintentional self-harm. One of these is falls. This population is at risk for falls, as falls is the leading cause of injury among older adults. They are also at risk for unintentional self-care deficits. To combat this, we need to implement measures to promote independence, but also make sure we intervene when they are not able to function. Boosting their maximum independence and teaching energy-conserving techniques would be most helpful in this situation. And then the risk for harm to them by others comes in different forms of abuse. There's physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. What can be done about this is just knowing the warning signs, knowing the risk factors. If you're the caregiver, make sure you take time for yourself, and always report if you suspect elder abuse. And that is it on the vulnerable population of the elderly adults living alone.